So, to get started using Tinkercad, you're going to go to tinkercad.com and click on the sign in button at the top right. When you come to this page, you can simply click sign in with Google and enter your staff Google account to get logged in. When you're logged in, this is the first screen that you'll see. The one thing that we will focus on today is just creating a new design. So this blue button is where you'll click to create a new design. Once your work plane has opened for your new design, we can go up to the top, we can give it a new name. I'll call this one Basics. And then we can get started with some of the basics of Tinkercad here. First things first, you have your work plane right here in the middle, and it has a nice grid so that you can easily follow where different shapes will sit and make them equal as you build your final design. On the right hand side, you'll find all of your shapes, which we'll go over in just a minute. On the left hand side here, you have some adjustment buttons. For example, you can click this box to get the different views of the design that you have. Some tips I have to begin with is if you hold down Control and the mouse button, you'll be able to spin your work plane around in different directions. You can also hold Control and Shift to move the work plane back and forth and up and down. And this is really, really helpful when you're detailing your design, trying to make sure everything lines up. And I really use these two shortcuts all the time when I'm building. So let's put it back here. Great. So let's start with a basic here. We'll go to the right hand side and we'll grab a box, drag it over and drop it on the work plane. And there you have it, a box. If you click on the box, you can change the color. I have a whole handful of different colors here. We'll leave it as yellow. That's pretty nice. And then you'll notice around the box there's a whole handful of little adjustments. So if you drag one of these white squares, you can change the length, the width to the size that you like. This will change the height up and down. There you go. This triangle here will raise the box up off the work plane, as you can see. And then finally you have these rotational adjustments here, which can be a little hard to grab, but you can rotate your shapes in various directions. Check it out. And we have a box kind of up on itself there. From this right hand side, you can grab a pyramid, you can do a half sphere, or you can choose maybe some text or even some numbers here. I think they've got numbers, right? A shape library is pretty cool. Hey, there's Elvis. So really, that's the basics. And in the next section of this video, we'll go through building a little garage so you can kind of see how it works to take something from an idea into an actual 3D drawing. Alright, for the second part of this digital lesson, we're going to create a pretty simple, straightforward design using Tinkercad. First step is to go into your dashboard and click Create New Design. Once your fresh work plane opens up, you can give it a name. Since we're making a garage today, we'll call it Garage. And let's jump right in. Let's drag a box right over. This will act as the base of our garage. And I'm going to make that 40 by 40. 40 along the width and 40 along the length on the bottom. I'm actually going to make it a little bit shorter, make it about 30. And as you can see, there's the base of the garage where the cars will park. The next step is to create a roof. We'll come on over, we'll drag a roof to the workplace, and we'll also make this one 40 by 40, same size, right? Now you can see that it's not lined up and it's sitting flat down on the work plane itself, so we're going to have to make some adjustments here. First step is to raise it kind of up. That's about right. We might need to raise it just a tad more, but we'll fix everything later. And then drag it kind of over. You see, Tinkercad gives you a really nice shadow underneath, so you can get a good idea of where it is. And that looks pretty good right there. The only thing is we're going to have to bring it down just so it sits nice and on top. Look at that. There you go. Oh, just a little off. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to add a bit of a design element to this here. So I'm going to take my roof and I'm actually going to extend it to in either direction so that it gives it a little overhang effect there, so it kind of looks like a house. Perfect. I'm going to change the roof to a brown color, and I'm going to change the base to a gray color. Perfect. Now we're going to make a little cutout so inside the garage a car can actually park. You can do this by grabbing another box, sticking it kind of inside the other box, and adjust it to fit nicely like a nice cutout. Just like that. You can see that that would look pretty good if it cut that out for the space to park the cars. The next step is to go in and make this transparent so you can see inside. So what we'd have to do is, if we were to cut out, it would only cut out as far as this box sticks in. So actually, we're going to need to pull that in a little bit. And now you can imagine, oh, there, sometimes these things happen there. What you can start to imagine is that there box is actually going to get cut out from inside the other box, leaving a hole so that you can park your car inside the garage. And we do this by choosing that red box there and making it, instead of a solid color, a hole. And then we highlight both the outside box and the inside box, and we click on this button right up here to group them. And now you can see that that's been cut out. Looks pretty good. So we'll change this back to a solid color, and there we got a nice garage. Perfect. Now let's go over to the side and we'll go to the shape library, and from this we can choose a vehicle, car. Let's grab the car and pull it out. That needs to be a bit smaller, so we're going to shuffle that down a tad. There we go. Car's parked in the garage. Put it kind of in the center there. We need someone to drive the car, so we'll choose a character. Let's make Elvis drive the car. Elvis will stand out here on the side. See if we can... Oh, that was the wrong one. That was also the wrong one. This one here. There we go. Kind of bring him down a little bit smaller. He can stand on the side here. And let's see if we can find a tree or something. Here's a baby tree. Let's stick a tree behind Elvis there, right next to the garage. Perfect. So, in just a few minutes, you've created your first 3D mock-up of a garage and Elvis and his car. To end this digital lesson, I want to kind of bring us back into your classroom and what you're doing to make this actually meaningful and useful. Things like Tinkercad can often become just add-ons, and I actually want you to be able to use this for something meaningful, as a final piece in a unit, or as a small formative assessment in a unit, whatever it might be. Here are a couple of general ideas for integrating Tinkercad into what you're doing. Now, these might not fit exactly with what you're doing in your classroom, but hopefully you can be inspired to adjust and fix something that works perfectly for you. I'll point out here the third one down here, build a 3D city. A few years back, I used Tinkercad with some grade 4 students because they were creating model cities, and it was a great opportunity for them, instead of drawing it down on a piece of paper, to engage in another way of representing their understanding. So that was a great way of using Tinkercad for a meaningful purpose. If you like what you see here and you want to find out more, you can check out these 2 links. They're also included in the post on the website. So if you want more lesson ideas, or you want some guides, some tutorials for how to do more, just go to either of these links and see what you can figure out.